What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in the Khaliis Take. You know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. But hey, let's just go ahead and jump right in. At this point, the Lakers need a head coach. And when you look at the team, I'm not even sure if that's exactly what's going to make them a better team overall. Because like I said, you got a bunch of older guys on the team and it's hard to ask them to, play defense a certain way and play a different type of style than what they're used to playing in their heyday. But at the same time, having somebody in there with a voice can definitely help, which is the reason why I believe the Lakers are definitely looking more towards Darvin Ham as their pick. Because right now it's between Darvin Ham, Kenny Atkinson, and Terry Stotts. Now, me personally, I definitely would go with Darvin Ham. Terry Stotts is definitely never been a good coach to me. Never got nowhere with the Blazers. Kenny Atkinson with the Nets, he didn't do too bad, but definitely not great. So I think if LeBron had to make a choice, I would say LeBron would go with Darvin Ham. LeBron would want Darvin Ham as the head coach out of any of those picks. And with that being said, if that's the only picks that they have narrowed down to, then that means Doc Rivers is out. Earlier, a couple months ago, we were hearing Nick Nurse. We were hearing, he was even hearing Mark Jackson, you know what I'm saying? And for some reason, I just thought Mark Jackson would have been the better fit out of all of them. To me, even though he hasn't coached in a long time, but I still think Mark Jackson is a very good coach. I still think, his style of coaching is good. And I think the way he built the Warriors and showed everybody that the Warriors were going to be a really good team, they're still really good now. It looks like they're about to make the finals once again. So, the roster he put together there definitely, lived on, almost like legendary. So I think they really should have looked at Mark Jackson beyond anybody, but for some reason he keeps getting blackballed. But in regards to Darvin Ham, I will say this, Darvin Ham has been with the Greek freak Giannis the last few years, and he's helped develop Giannis in a lot of what you see of Giannis now in regards to his dominance, in regards to how he thinks and goes out there and play the game, and how he actually attacks the game from different angles, even though Giannis is not a good shooter. Now, of course, like I said, I don't think he's going to come on the Lakers and make them a all-world different team, but I definitely think he's the type of guy where he's more of a hands-on type guy. He'll go out there and practice and be a little physical with the players, move around a little bit. Same thing he was doing with Giannis. If you look at some of the tape and stuff like that, when he's actually worked out with Giannis, actually Giannis backing him down in the paint, doing turnaround spins, things like that, being physical with the players and actually going out there doing that sometimes is really good, along with having a voice. And Darvin Ham definitely, has a voice, and I feel like a lot of players around the league respect him. And when you look at, when you hear analysts and a lot of people talk about it, about Darvin Ham, he's respected by a lot of players around the league because he was one of them. He played the game. He understood the game from a standpoint of as a role player, but he definitely understands the game to a point where he can teach it because he's been with the Bucks for several years. And like I said, him working with Giannis and Middleton and a couple other players, they turned into champions after a while. You see what I'm saying? So not saying he should take all the credit for that, but he definitely has a deserving hand in there in regards to their success. And taking his abilities over to the Lakers definitely couldn't hurt, because they definitely need a voice and they definitely need somebody who will jump in their face at times when they're wrong. And I can see Darvin Ham being that way. You see what I'm saying? And sometimes you need a coach to push you rather than to push yourself. Everybody's not a self-starter. See, sometimes people need to be pushed to swing. And that's just the notion that I feel like Darvin Ham will bring to the Lakers. And the Lakers have that type of voice and that type of mentality in their locker room. I feel like it'll make them more of a superior team than what they were last year. I'm not saying they're going to win a championship, because I don't think they can, not with the current roster they have. I don't see Russell Westbrook helping you win a championship. I just think any team Russell Westbrook is going to suffer in regards to winning championships, because his decision making just really isn't that good in crunch time. And like I said, you got an older LeBron James. He could put up a lot of points, but he can't give you virtuosos the way he used to, scoring and playing defense and putting the team on his back and carrying him to the promised land. He can't do those type things anymore. So people definitely should not expect him to do that and expect him to play that way. They should just really expect him to play like within his means of what he can do. And like I said, he played great this year. He played outstanding. He definitely had, some big games, a lot of big games really, he was one of the leading scorers, on this year. And, he played really, really sound, in regards to what he could do at his age. But at the same time, it didn't equate to winning. And if you ask LeBron James, he would definitely take back all the scoring that he did this past year and throw it away for the wins, to have an opportunity to be in the playoffs to win a championship. That's just the way it goes. But right now, like I said, getting a head coach is definitely important. And I definitely think it's the direction that the Lakers should look into in regards to acquiring Darvin Ham, because the other two guys, like I said, Terry Stotts could not do anything with the Portland Trailblazers. I mean, he had Dame Lillard, he had LaMarcus Aldridge in his prime. I think he had Wesley Matthews in his prime. I think he even had Nicholas Batum, you know what I'm saying? So in his prime, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you've had a lot of good players, you've played, you've coached and everything. You couldn't even get past the second round. I mean, it's just utterly ridiculous, you know what I'm saying? So I just think that maybe they got past the second round one time, but I mean, they never been to a finals or anything, so it doesn't really matter. And that's my point. You can't really, win with Terry Stotts. You can win a lot of games in the regular season, but you can't do nothing in the postseason, because his coaching style just seems to fade away when the postseason gets here, because making adjustments to what the other team or what the opposing team is doing, he's just really not that great at that. I mean, his playoff record says it. So, it's just the way it is. I mean, so I don't think the Lakers should look his way. And Kenny Atkinson, the only thing I really know of him is the Brooklyn Nets when he coached there briefly. I don't think they were that good of a team. They were really kind of sort of just getting going to me. And maybe, I can't give him really a fair assessment on what, he's done so far. But I mean, at the same time, Darvin Ham doesn't have much of a resume himself in regards to it, but he was or still technically is a part of a championship team in the Milwaukee Bucks. He was on a team that won a championship. So with that being said, he has championship experience, knowledge, and he has the knowledge of playing as a player in the league. So, and a lot of people respect him for playing in the league, and the players respect him because he's just that, masculine type guy who carries a presence everywhere he goes. And like I said, what he's done with Giannis and Middleton, working with them, they won a championship. You know what I'm saying? He's a part of that championship team. So he's got a championship basically technically on his resume. So he knows what it's like to go through the ups and downs of a season and end the season in a fruitful way by winning the chip. So, I mean, having somebody like that and him being the voice that he is, I feel like the Lakers definitely can't go backwards with somebody like him. And like I said, he's one of the last remaining few that they can pick from. So with that being said, you might as well go with him. And if you listen to the analysts, speaking on it today, yesterday, or whenever, most of them are going to go with Darvin Ham. Most of them actually are saying Darvin Ham. So most of them agree with me, in that way, and vice versa. I agree with them because, like I said, out of the three picks, that's really the best one, the best option, if you ask me. So hopefully the Lakers go ahead and go through with that and see what the season brings them, and go into next season, try to figure out what they can do. I'm not sure if they'll be able to trade Russell Westbrook. It's not really looking like it right now, but you never know. Maybe they can make some moves and see what they can get going there with him, and maybe even Anthony Davis trade as well, because I mean, like I said, his name is being blown up out there as well, to try to revamp this team and give them a different type energy. So we'll see what happens there, and we'll see exactly how it pans out. But hey, that's my take on everything. You leave any comments in the comment section. Check out my other videos as always. And hey, Kelly out.